We're here to promote the Louisiana Seafood Cook-Off and crown our new champion, king or queen of seafood for the new year. Bonnie Bro will be giving over the crown tonight to the next champion, and we've got a lot of tough competition from all over Louisiana. It started 13 years ago, but last year we decided to move the competition to Lafayette. Two reasons. One, to partner with Eat Lafayette, which is a great way to promote the local restaurants. And secondly, it's in the middle of the state. We wanted to get more participants from all over Louisiana, a little easier to get here, centrally located. And from the crowd tonight, we'll keep coming back to Lafayette.
I think we're going to get one that's going to take it all the way this year. We need a new winner for the Great American Seafood Cook-Off.
Absolutely. Last year, I think Alaska stole it. The year before that, Mississippi won. And we found out afterwards that they used Louisiana shrimp, so we should have disqualified them. But we're hoping this year that we can take our chef, go to New Orleans, bring home the crown, and have the greatest seafood chef in America. So good luck to everybody. Thank you for being here tonight, and may the best chef win.
We're doing a shrimp and crab seafood burger. We're doing it back at the restaurant for a while now. Pretty proud of it.
What was the inspiration to create this dish?
We did this burger back a little while ago, started running it, tried to do a little recreation for all the hamburger fans, but you know, we got so much fresh, quality, good tasting stuff, just having to take a seafood play on it.
What's it like cooking in the seafood cook-off as opposed to back in your restaurant?
Oh, whew. Just another day around a lot of people just working real hard. If anything, it's a little more enjoyable because you get to see all this other great seafood being used in good ways.
9, 8, 7, a race to the finish. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
I have a little bit of a charcuterie background, so we really kind of like to change it up around the restaurant, the seafood restaurant. So we decided to do a seafood burger a little while back. It's been a real good success for us, and hope y'all enjoy it. Thank y'all, everybody, for having us.
We have the Cabin Restaurant. It's in Gonzales, Louisiana, about 20 minutes outside of Baton Rouge. I've been a chef for about 13 years now.
What are you cooking up?
So today we're doing a smoked lump crab meat cake with roasted red snapper over a corn and tomato salad.
How'd you come up with the idea for this dish?
We like to do simple things, make sure we showcase the seafood as well on top, and then do something fresh. It's summertime, so we're doing a little smoked flavor and a little fresh flavor with the corn and tomatoes.
What's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana seafood?
Oh man, it's the best. I mean, you can't get anything better anywhere else. Everything that comes out of the Gulf is beautiful. We get it in many times a week at the restaurant. It's just great product to work with. So what we have for you today, we have a little pan roasted red snapper with the skin on. Over a fresh corn, watermelon, and tomato salad with a lightly smoked crab cake on the side of that. It's all crab meat. We just toasted the outside of it with panko breadcrumbs and a little butter and olive oil. And then the jam underneath is a Steen's cane syrup and tomato spicy jam.
I'm Noah Lassard. I'm from Rufino's in Baton Rouge on Highland Road. Been cooking for about 13 years now.
What are you cooking up here today?
This evening we're going to do a fried green tomato with seared red snapper on top, some boiled crawfish tails, and remoulade hollandaise.
What's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana seafood?
Louisiana seafood is just great. There's a lot of variety, freshness. You can get it right off the dock within a couple of days directly to your restaurant, even if you're inshore.
What's the trick with winning a competition like this as opposed to cooking back in your restaurant?
Cooking in the restaurant's a little different. You got a lot more people, hands, everything to do for you. Tonight it's just me and my sous chef knocking everything out. All right, guys, what you have in front of you is a fried green tomato. Actually comes out of Chalmette. We get Gallows tomatoes from Gallows Farms. The family actually delivers them to us once a week, so they're super fresh. They're very flavorful. They're fried with a little cornmeal batter. On the cornmeal batter, we actually dehydrate lemon zest to give it a little brightness to it, so it's going to have real bright flavor. We got a hollandaise remoulade. Went with a hollandaise because it gives a nice buttery flavor to add accentuate the flavor of the fish. And then we have some fresh boiled crawfish tails. With a skin-on snapper.
Hey guys, I'm Chef Anthony Fallon with Fat Calf Boucherie in Shreveport, Louisiana, and I've been cooking for about 20 years now.
What are you cooking up here today in the competition?
Today we're doing a little crispy chicken skin crusted grouper. We're serving that with a traditional oyster shrimp stew with an Asian spin on it, topped with caviar, morel mushrooms, and chanterelles.
How'd you come up with the idea for this dish?
Well, as growing up as a kid, my grandfather always made oyster stew when he went to down south to Grand Isle. It wasn't something as nice as what we're doing here today, but it was a play I grew up with it, so I kind of wanted to make a rendition of it today.
What's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana seafood?
Oh, it's just the quality and the freshness, the availability of it, and you're putting the money back in your state, which is most important.
It's an honor to be here cooking in front of all you guys. I want to take you back with this dish. I think one of my very first experience of Louisiana seafood was my grandfather. Back when I was about 6 years old, he used to have a fishing camp down in Grand Isle. And one of his favorite things to go down there not only was crabbing or catching flounder, it was to make oyster shrimp stew. Now his wasn't so elaborate. It was mainly a cream base, a lot of oysters, onions, your Trinity, and he served it with oyster crackers. So this is a play on that kind of take us back to our childhood.
Hi, my name is Scott McHugh, Executive Chef of Cypress Bayou Casino Hotel, located in Sharonton, Louisiana. I've been a chef for the past 26 years.
What's your dish here today for the seafood cook-off?
I'm doing a snapper dish, pan-seared snapper.
How did you come up with the idea for that?
One of my favorite fish is snapper. I'm going to complement that with a blackened hollandaise sauce and buttermilk fried crawfish tails.
What's the difference between cooking in your restaurant and cooking here at the seafood cook-off?
Not at home with all the functional components of a whole entire kitchen, including an oven, stuff like that. But it's challenging out here.
What's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana seafood?
It's so abundant. There's so many different flavors, so many different combinations you can use, and so much fresh seafood out there.
Louisiana seafood, why is it important to me? Because it's an abundance of seafood out there. There's always something every season. There's always something new, something different. I love to incorporate the Cajun flavors. Like in this dish, we have a blackened hollandaise. Hollandaise is a traditional French sauce, and I twisted it around and made it a blackened hollandaise. Another traditional on this dish is the turned vegetables. You don't see turned vegetables very often. Thought that was kind of cool. Buttermilk fried crawfish tails, you can't go wrong with that. And something different with the potatoes, it's the baby potatoes you put in a crawfish boil. And I toss them in some honey, some garlic, salt and pepper, and rosemary.
I've been a chef for 4 years. I love the creative freedom, the pressure, and the stress. Everything most people don't like, I enjoy. So,
What are you cooking up here in the competition?
we're doing a little bit of Louisiana catfish today.
What's so special about cooking with Louisiana seafood?
We've got one of the most diverse fisheries in the world right here in our backyard. So you can literally, it's a chef's dream to play with that amount of fresh seafood. So,
What was your inspiration for this dish?
my grandparents, like their fish fries, spending summers up with my grandparents every year. Every Friday, no matter what, rain or shine, my grandpa was frying catfish. And this is my take on his fried catfish every Friday. At the end of the summer, he would always pickle all the vegetables he had left over and made a chow chow, and they would put it on top of everything. I mean, eat a little bit with every meal, and that's the chow chow that's on top. So what you have here, though, is gumbo fat fried potatoes with fried catfish that's crusted in Louisiana crawtator zaps, jalapeno ash aioli with a little spicy kick, and a salted watermelon and pickled summer vegetable chow chow.
My restaurant is located on Pinhook in Lafayette, Louisiana. It's called Blue Dog Cafe. We have a location here and in Lake Charles, and I've been a chef for about 9 years.
What are you cooking up here today?
We're cooking some crackling crusted red snapper with a spring vegetable and pickled crawfish tail salad, some creme fraiche, a buttermilk and chili consomme, and a burnt leek oil.
What's the difference between cooking in a competition like here in the seafood cook-off and back in your restaurant?
It's timed. That's about it. We try to stay comfortable and just put our best foot forward and serve some good food.
What's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana seafood?
Oh, the Louisiana seafood is the best in the world. It's always fresh. It's always tasty, and I mean, we get it as it's caught. You can't beat it. With this plate, I just kind of really wanted to showcase some of my background, and being from Crowley, Louisiana, I felt it was important that I use crawfish in anything that we did. One of my favorite fish that come out of the Gulf of Mexico is a red snapper. The technique that we used on this snapper is a scale on, soaked in water, goes into a really hot pan, hold it down, and the scales puff up like chips. So they're edible. It's part of our snout to tail philosophy that we use, trying to use every part of the fish. I'm a very much so an advocate of supporting local, fresh, always. I love Louisiana seafood, but I also love fresh vegetables. So what y'all are seeing is a fresh spring vegetable salad with pickled crawfish tails, a little bit of shoe-picked caviar on top of that to kind of round off that seafood and to complement all those flavors. I wanted to make sure that with the consomme that we were getting a little bit more fat onto the dish. That's an ancho chili and buttermilk consomme that we made with a burnt leek oil. I'd like to thank y'all for having us. We've had a great time. The competition's been really fun. And as always, getting to cook with Louisiana Seafood, there's nothing better.
I'm the executive chef at Pamplona. I've been in the kitchen for about 20 years.
What do you like the most about being a chef?
I guess the thrive in the chaos of the kitchen, so it works really well for me.
What are you cooking up here today?
We're going to do a sous vide and seared grouper with crawfish and Louisiana wild rice risotto and a duck demi and crab meat meuniere.
What's different between cooking in a competition like this and in your restaurant?
It's just a lot of people watching, a little bit of pressure, but we're here to have fun. So,
what's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana Seafood?
I mean, it's right in our back door. It just makes sense. Not a large carbon footprint there for us to enjoy it.
Today's dish is kind of a story of my career. Moving back and forth from Lafayette to New Orleans, you get the Meuniere sauce, but instead of using veal, we used duck demi, which is, Lafayette's kind of known for duck hunting. We got crab meat in it. And then the rice is a wild rice from Iberia Parish, which we cooked in the style of risotto. And we have local crawfish in that risotto. And then the fish is sous vide and seared grouper.
My name's Paige Lucas. I'm with Pork Belly's Bar and Grill, and I've been a chef for about 7 years.
Tell us, what are you cooking up here today?
We are doing a parish boil, and that's what we're calling it. So it's going to have soft shell crawfish on it, sweet potato puree, a red bell pepper coulis, and some poached crawfish tails.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
Just simplicity. Think of a seafood boil. So it's going to have our sweet potato puree. It's going to have our crawfish, and again, I want to shed some light on something that's not so familiar. Is the soft shell crawfish.
What's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana Seafood?
The taste, the flavor. It's like nothing else. You can't get this in Texas. You can't get this anywhere else but in Louisiana. I wanted something completely original. My restaurant concept is completely original. So there's no corporate anything. So again, this was a very playful act on a crawfish seafood boil. This is what all the flavors will remind you of a seafood boil. Again, being 2018, we had to bring it with the times.
I've been a chef for about a little over 25 years now. The main thing I like about being a chef is every day is something new. You're only as good as the last meal you serve, so every day you have to perform and be the best that you can be, and that's very challenging in any field.
What are you cooking up here today?
I'm going to do a Mardi Gras speckled trout. We're going to do a seared speckled trout. We're going to have purple potatoes, fingerling potatoes with tasso. We're going to have beet greens sauteed in bacon, and we're going to be doing a corn maque choux sauce.
How'd you get the inspiration for this dish?
I wanted to go different, but not too far out the box. And I started putting everything together, and then actually my sous chef is the one that said, hey, that looks like Mardi Gras colors, right? And I was like, oh yeah. So that's how we ended up with the name too.
What's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana Seafood?
The truth is the sustainability of it and how quickly you can go get it. In fact, we drove to New Orleans yesterday to get my trout. It was caught yesterday, filleted yesterday. I picked it up at noon.
Mardi Gras, name of the dish. We even dressed the part. So please take in consideration extra points here for dressing like Mardi Gras. Every little bit helps, right?
My name is Chef Justin East. I'm from Vic and Anthony Steakhouse in Lake Charles, Louisiana. And today I'm cooking a black and yellow edge grouper with a sweet potato and pecan gnocchi with micro mustard greens and a steamed syrup vinaigrette.
How'd you come up with the idea for this?
Well, Louisiana local flavors was what I was looking for. Is everything on the plate is from Louisiana, and just melding those flavors together with the harmony and the ingredients, and all from Louisiana.
What's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana Seafood?
Is the availability of options you have, and the flavor profiles are so vastly different in being able to work putting those together.
What's the difference between cooking in your restaurant and cooking here at the Louisiana Seafood Cook-Off?
At the restaurant, I have to cook what people expect me to cook. Here in the Louisiana Seafood, I get to cook flavors from home, what I like to cook, what I grew up cooking. I blackened it today, and I've served it with a sweet potato gnocchi, which sweet potato is one of my favorite potatoes, of course, in the world, but out of Louisiana, it is very tasty to go along with fish. and I've tossed it with toasted pecans and micro mustard greens. And I finished it off with a steamed syrup and Satsuma rum vinaigrette.
My name is Justin Ferguson. Our restaurant is BRQ Restaurant in Baton Rouge, and I've been cooking for over 15 years now.
What are you cooking here in the competition?
We are doing a local seared snapper encrusted with Gulf shrimp over the top with a Cajun vichyssoise. We did a Mirliton chow chow. We're doing andouille stuffed crawfish heads.
What's different between cooking in your restaurant and cooking here in the competition?
We get to have a little bit more fun and be a little more creative when we get into a competition. And, you know, for us, it's just a good time, and we enjoy cooking, so this is what we do, so this is fun.
What's the best thing about cooking with Louisiana Seafood?
It's just the quality and knowing where it comes from, and, you know, being from Louisiana and growing up here, we take a lot of pride in our seafood and where it comes from. So, you know, it all starts with great product, and so that's where our dish starts. Everything we have on our dish tonight is local. It's either grown in my garden or the garden that we have at the restaurant, and you know, all caught, you know, right out of the Gulf of Mexico. So we're really excited.
This is our snapper dish. What I've done is encrusted it with Louisiana Gulf shrimp. Underneath it, you're going to have a Cajun vichyssoise. Then you're going to have a ragu of house-made andouille sausage that we make in the restaurant, okra, and a little bit of smoked chicken stock. On top, you've got a Mirliton chow chow, and then we've taken some Louisiana pecans, crawfish tails, and andouille, and we stuffed the head of the crawfish, and we got these crawfish in right at the end of the season. So, hope you guys enjoy.
I want to first thank everybody for coming out tonight and supporting this great event in Louisiana Seafood. I also want to thank all the volunteers and everybody that works at this arena for doing a great job at putting this together. Let's give all the restaurants and their employees and the people that help welcome our tourists to Louisiana every day that work in this industry. Now, if you look at these dishes, to me, every one of these chefs and their team is a winner, because every day in Louisiana, people come from all over the world to eat in Louisiana. And that's why when we worked to rebrand Louisiana, there was no brand other than Louisiana Feed Your Soul, and that's what we're doing here tonight. Thanks again for being here.
Third place in the 11th Annual Louisiana Seafood Cook-Off goes to Paul Gibson.
Yeah, you're right.
The Mardi Gras Special.
Bro Bridge, baby. Bro Bridge in the house.
All right. Congratulations. Mom's proud of you. I know that. All right. Y'all ready for this? Second place. I'm going to say this again. 4 points separated first and fourth place. That's huge. That just shows the talent. But second place is going to go to Joshua Abear from the Cabin Restaurant.
Yeah. That a baby Josh.
That breadless crab cake that was smoked was a winner.
That's that apple smoked crab cake, baby. Game changer.
There you go, Josh. All right. I need our queen. There we go, right here.
Y'all give it up for Bonnie Bro.
I got the envelope right here, y'all. Yeah, first of all, thank you for your service for this past year and years previous too, Bonnie. You're an amazing example and inspiration for all of us. Thank you so much. Y'all give her another hand, please. All right, guys. This is the golden ticket that's going to take somebody to the Great American Seafood Cook-Off in New Orleans on August 4th, brought to you by the Louisiana Restaurant Association. Are y'all ready? Woo! Are y'all ready?
Uh-oh.
Chef Ryan Tron!
Oh, baby! Oh!
Hang on, you got to get your picture made real quick.
Yes!
That was a killer dish, y'all. All right. So we have a tradition. We have a tradition here at the cook-off where the new king or queen has to be crowned. We're going to need you to take a knee.
Take a knee, baby. Catch a knee. Hey, Sully, where's Sully? Sully, get up here.
That's our new king, everybody.
Hey,
We'll
make sure
see
we
you
get
in
Sully in the
August.
picture. A lot of help from Sully, man. Let's go.
Hey.
There you go, Sully.
Great job, guys. Great job.
Congrats, fellas. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let
Bringing
you know.
it back to Acadiana, y'all.
Back-to-back years.
Shock. And I just wanted to hug Bonnie because I was so happy that she was the one to be able to hand over the crown.
What did you cook up here today be the winner?
Crackling crusted red snapper with a ancho chili, buttermilk broth, spring vegetable and pickled crawfish tail salad, burnt leek oil, and bopin caviar.
What was your trick to winning the seafood cook-off?
Having fun.
What went through your mind when you were called out as second place winner?
Oh man, I can't believe it. I mean, all these great chefs and all the great dishes that have been plated tonight. It's incredible to win an honor like this. Yeah.
What did you cook here tonight to win second place?
So we did a smoked lump crab cake with a fresh corn, tomato, and watermelon salad, and some seared red snapper, and some tomato jam with some Steen's cane syrup in it.
I was shocked. I mean, I was happy, but with this competition, with the amount of people and chefs they had in it, I'm very pleased that I even placed.
What did you cook up here tonight?
Tonight I did Mardi Gras speckled trout, which is seared speckled trout, purple fingerling potatoes with tasso, beet greens in bacon grease, and a corn mock choux sauce.
My year as Queen of Louisiana Seafood was amazing. I've spent numerous days and many trips with amazing chefs and represented Louisiana seafood and domestic seafood, and what's a better way to do that? Billy Nungesser and his team was amazing. Always answering every question I needed. It was just an amazing time. Went to New York for the first time, loved it, you know? How can you not love that?
It's just great. The turnout, once again, we're probably going to break a record again with turnout, and to have chefs, we had to turn chefs away this year to be able to get the competition kicked off and finished in one night. So a great participation from the chefs, and the crowd is fantastic.
If people have questions like more information about Louisiana Seafood, what should they do?
LouisianaSeafood.com, and you can also go to our tourism websites. But we're encouraging people to come out and support our local restaurants here in Lafayette and across Louisiana. These chefs work hard every day, and especially during the summer. We got to support our local restaurants.